morning. Welcome to the South Ops Fire Weather Webcast for Monday, August 24th. I'm your host, Kristen Stewart. Strong high pressure remains the dominant weather feature across central and southern California. As such, the marine layer remains very shallow this morning, with low clouds mostly limited to portions of the coast. With high pressure exerting less of an influence over the central coast, low clouds are more prevalent there than to the south. These clouds should clear nicely over the next couple hours. There is also quite a bit of mid-level cloud cover across the state this morning. It does not appear that there is any convective activity this morning associated with this cloud cover, so we'll probably just be dealing with partly to mostly cloudy skies over these areas through the morning until increased daytime heating brings the potential for thunderstorms to return to the higher terrain. The main story for the forecast as we move through this final week of August will be persistence. Strong high pressure will remain centered over the desert southwest through the work week, with very little in the way of day-to-day changes. California will remain in the western periphery of the high as Pacific troughing nudges against northwest California. This will keep very hot and dry weather in place across the area, something we have been very used to this summer. Model projections indicate that troughing may start to move over California this weekend and remain dominant into early next week, though there is still plenty of uncertainty in the guidance and it is too early to speculate much on next week. As high pressure continues to dominate, temperatures across the region are generally expected to range around 5 to 10 degrees above seasonal averages through the work week. Some areas will be locally as much as 15 degrees above seasonal averages. Highs will be in the 90s to around 105 across the valleys, 80s closer to the coast and for the lower mountains, and 110 to 115 for the low desert. Due to this heat, combined with warmer than average overnight low temperatures, much of the region will remain under heat advisories or extreme heat warnings through the work week. In addition to the hot temperatures, humidity will remain near typical summertime levels, with minimums largely in the 10 to 25% range across the interior, driest for the deserts as usual. The marine layer will remain very shallow, keeping higher humidity and any low clouds bound to the immediate coastline. Humidity will not just be low during the daytime hours, as fair to poor overnight humidity recoveries will remain prevalent across the deserts and many mid-elevation slopes through the week. As we get into the weekend and early next week, there should be some degree of cooling and moistening across the region due to the troughing taking over, though it is uncertain how much there will be. With the center of the high pressure remaining over the desert southwest through the week, the monsoon will become a little less active than it was last week. The flow around the high will be a little more south to southwesterly over California, which is less favorable for an influx of subtropical moisture from the Gulf of California. As a result, isolated monsoonal showers and thunderstorms are expected to continue during the afternoon and evening hours for most of the week across the Sierra, deserts, and southern and eastern portions of the Southern California mountains. Like we have seen for much of the summer, storms in these areas are likely to be slow-moving and on the wetter side to preclude any significant fire weather with any lightning strikes. With continued hot and dry conditions this week, fuel moistures will continue to gradually lower, and the large fire potential will remain seasonably elevated across the region. The overall risk will stay just below high levels as there are no strong wind or dry lightning concerns. Despite the lack of critical fire weather conditions, there still remains a high likelihood for significant growth on any new or existing fires with good terrain and wind alignment. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Our next webcast will be on Tuesday, August 25th. Have a fantastic day.